Hi, welcome back. Well, where did we stop last time? Well, we started Daniel Defoe and wanted to see some brave pirates, great adventure, and found out partly incomprehensible narration with the main points of lots of apostrophes, about 1/10 of narration capitalized randomly, and words in italics. England in italics. Why? What? Of course, long sentences and something we could not make out. But also, there was a guy in question who started to tell his story. That was the good thing. So, would you like to go back to the story? I wish. Let's go. So, the guy in question was cutting wood and had a dream of being a sea merchant. Yeah, sea merchant, and he hoped not to prey upon his own countrymen. All right. It was many years after this before I could bring my purposes to pass, and I served first in some of the adventures of Captain Sharp, Captain Sawkins, and others in their bold adventures in the South Seas, where I got a very good booty. Oh, booty. Well, in our time, it has got a different meaning then. Was at the taking of Puna, where we were obliged to leave infinite wealth behind us for want of being able to bring it away. And after several adventures in those seas, was among that party who fought in their way sword in hand through all the detachments of the Spaniards. Spaniards again. In italics. In the journey overlands, crossed the Isthmus of Darien to the North Seas. Do you know the place? And when other of our men got, G-A-T, away, I think it was something got, some one way, some another, I, with 12 more of our men, by help of Periagua, got into the bay of Campeche, where we fell very honestly to cutting of logwood, not for want, but to employ ourselves till we could make off. Damn it! It's the complete script of a really interesting novel too. Where is all the fun? Here 3 of our men died. D-Y apostrophe D. Cool. And we that were left shared their money among us, and having stayed here 2 years without seeing any way of escape that dared to trust to, I at last, with 2 of our men who spoke Spanish perfectly well, made a desperate attempt to travel overland to L, having buried all our money, which was worth 8,000 pieces of 8 a man. Mathematicians, help. Though most of it in gold, in a pit in the earth which we dug 12 foot deep, and where it would have lain still, for no man knew where to look for it. But we had an opportunity to come at it again some years after. Wow, that's great. But I would, it's interesting to count how much is it. Well, with the inflation and everything like that, it is not possible to know for sure. Because what I heard from people smarter than me is that the wealth and the amount of money a person got in the books of 18th, 19th century was quite a solid proof, because there was no inflation, everything was in gold, and the price of 1 money unit was stable for a very long period of time. So in 100 or 200 years, people understood how wealthy was a person, how much did he get, when telling the amount of money. And now, with denominations of the 90s, with inflation here and now, we cannot really know how much is it. We always need to, we always need to add something. Well, in 2007, in 2008, I was gaining, for 1 month of work, 800, well, first 700 rubles and then 800 rubles. And I thought, oh my God, well, it's normal amount of money, that's cool. And 4 years later, working as a teacher with minimal wages and minimal amount of lessons, I got 12,000, 12, 13, something like that. And I happened to think like, oh my God, it's small sum, it's nothing. Now I get like, well, I cannot say about this moment, but last year it was something around 65,000, and I'm still saying, oh my God, I don't earn much. Oh gosh. Well, back to the story. Sorry guys. Sorry. We traveled along the seashore for 5 days together, the weather exceeding hot, and did not doubt but we should so disguise ourselves as to be taken for Spaniards. But our better fortune provided otherwise for us. For the 6th day of our march, we found a canoe lying out on the shore with no one in her. Ooh! We found, however, several things in her which told us plainly that she belonged to some Englishmen who were on shore. So we resolved to sit down by her and wait. By and by we heard the Englishmen, who were 7 in number, and were coming back to their boat, having been up to the country to an ingenio, suppose, the vessel, where they had gotten great quantities of provision and were bringing it down to their boat, which they had left on the shore, with the help of 5 Indians again, he tells, okay, of whom they had bought it, not thinking there was any people thereabouts. When they saw us, not knowing who we were, they were just going to fire at us, when I, perceiving it, held up a white flag, as high as I could reach it, which was, in short, only a piece of old linen waistcoat which I had on, and pulled it off for the occasion. Upon this, however, they forbore firing at us, and when they came nearer to us, they could easily see that we were their own countrymen. I wonder how. How can you guess the nationality of a person? Well, if it's not a really specific features, as black skin or, I don't know, certain kind of hair, certain. Well, I mean, how can you distinguish between Englishman and Spaniard? Let's see. They inquired of us what we came here for. We told them. We had traveled from Campeche. Well, Campeche is italicized all the time, and I think that geographical names and names of vessels and names of captains are capitalized. Here is important, location. Makes, well, it is a logic here, and yeah. We're being tired with the hardships of our fortune and not getting any vessel to carry us where we just go. We were even desperate and cared not what become of us. So that had not they come to us thus happily, we should have put ourselves into the hands of the Spaniards rather than have perished where we were. Well, with no alternative, okay. They took us into their boat and afterwards carried us on the boat to their ship, where when we came here we found they were worse sort of wanderers than ourselves, for though we had been a kind of pirates. I'm sorry, I did not miss out anything, but I think I have not noticed the moment they became pirates. So they just trying to survive. Okay. Pirates, known as declared enemies to the Spaniards, yet it was to them only and to no other, for we never offered to rob any of our other European nations, either Dutch or French, much less English. But now we were listed in the service of the devil indeed, and like him were at war with all mankind. But why is so dry narration? I don't know. Well, this passage is not dry, but it is small. That fun began, but all right. However, we not only were obliged to sort with them while with them, but in a little time the novelty of the crime wrote off, and we grew hardened to it like the rest. And in this service I spent 4 years more of my time. Where are them? Our captain in this pirate ship was named Nichols. Nichols. But we called him Captain Redhead. Oh. No, I'm sorry, Red Hand. Okay. It seems it was a Scots sailor gave him that name when he was not the head of the crew, because he was so bloody a wretch that he scarce even was at the taking any prize, but he had a hand in some butchery or other. They were hard put to it for fresh provisions, or they would not have sent us up into the country a single canoe. And when I came on board, they were so straitened that, by my advice, they resolved to go to the Isle of Cuba to kill wild beef, or which the south side of the island is so full. Accordingly, we sailed thither directly. The vessel carried 16 guns, but was fitted to carry 22, and there was on board 160 stout fellows. Not bad at all, that's great. And as bold as a case hardened for the work as ever I met with upon the occasion whatever. We victualled in this place for 8 months by our calculation, but our cook, who had the management of the salting and pickling the beef, ordered this matter so that, had he been let alone, he would have starved us all and poisoned us too. For as we are obliged to hunt the black cattle in the island sometimes a great while before we can shoot them, it should be observed that the flesh of those that are heated before they are killed is not fit to be pickled or salted up for keeping. Well, I thought I don't know how to cook. But this guy is tougher in it. Oh, wow. Not bad, right? See you next time.